Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful. When the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good morning, everybody. Well, today we get to talk about why Elon shouldn't do it. Well, it's too late now. I might need to adjust the camera here. How'd you guys? You have a good weekend? Oh man, I can barely hear myself. There we go. Okay, hey. Let's go into the charts, and then we'll talk about our friend Elon Musk, okay? Charts. Okay, so S&P 500, pretty good day on Friday, but then towards the end of the day, it came back, and we're seeing that a lot lately. Still, I thought it was really good employment report. I think that the reaction was appropriate, and we see we're on the way up here. And hey, I'm looking at flows going into the end of the year, seasonal tendencies, so on and so forth. We've got a strong period of buybacks. People tend to put money to work. Towards the end of the year, I think we could have some pretty decent flows going into year end. Now, over in the Treasury world, okay, so good employment report, but the Treasuries move up? What? I don't get it. I do not get it at all. I am so confused, but somebody is just buying TF out of the Treasuries. Now they're coming back. We'll see if that meta order persists today. I suspect no, it won't, and we might get a little bit of downside action, but who knows? Maybe we were, maybe we were a little too aggressive on the way down here. All right. Checking the other ones. So we got oil here. Ooh, oil was so volatile last week. Because OPEC and all that. Natural gas is still doing okay. I'm just sitting here waiting for natural gas to spike up to like $7 and like, global panic and so, but it hasn't happened. Gold is looking oh so nice here. So we got a really good move off of the non-farms. When the Treasury yields crashed, gold just took off, and we have for the first time gotten in a long time since August, really, we've gotten a meaningful movement above 1800. So gold and silver are looking very positive right now. Kappa is still kind of in the doldrums, just chilling down here. Oops. And then we get to come over to the cryptocurrencies. So Bitcoin up pretty big over the weekend. I didn't read any particular reason why. It's just up to 60, new all-time high, essentially, right? Is it? Yep. Oh no, it's not quite a new all-time high. I don't know. Now, Ethereum new all-time high. Ethereum, I would expect to continue to perform really, really well. Bitcoin, they're burning daylight, but they still got some time left, right? And then we got the dollar index. The dollar a little weak this morning, but still above 94. So that's where we're at. How you guys? What are so many comments here this morning? How are you guys doing? Good morning, Win. Yeah, hit that like button. Thank you very much. You're up. So are you up on your Bitcoin? Are you up on something else? This just now TLA Trader says there was almost no volume in Europe. When I was reading my my morning rundowns and everything, that was like kind of the theme was like nobody did anything. But here's the thing. The Elon Musk profit taking is a bigger deal than you think, right? Just because it has become such a large component of the indexes, especially the NASDAQ, that it's going to weigh on them today. They're down 6%. Last I checked. That's going to hurt the indexes. And I think that all of the Asian and European traders were kind of like, well, we can't do anything until we see what the guys in the US do and price out Tesla after this. He's going to sell. Wait, I should back up just in case anybody's, for historical purposes, or in case you haven't read the news. Over the weekend, Elon Musk had a poll and he asked Twitter if he should sell his stock, because everybody's talking about how they're not taking their capital gains and stuff. So he said he would sell 10% of the stock if the poll said yes, and they said yes, which is unfortunate because it's going to hurt Tesla stock. Listen, you sell, it hurts the stock. We could calculate. Maybe we will try and calculate it here. But so the stock is down 6% overnight, and I think it could be a lot further, to be frank with you. We're probably going to see, because what's going on here is you're still seeing like a huge retail frenzy. Like this whole thing about like retail day traders coming in, it's not going away. It's just not. The millennials have been chronically underinvested the markets for a decade, and they have a decade's worth of investment to catch up on. And I think that money flow is probably going to just keep coming. So they're still here. They're, even though day traders will wash out, that money just goes to other day traders and gets sloshed around. So, and where have they been the most interested in playing? Tesla. So yeah, now it's going to be down. I'm going to bet you that there's going to be some snapbacks and stuff. Like, it's going to be a long and crazy journey over there in Tesla. But the ultimate conclusion is going to be that Elon Musk selling his stock is going to have a negative impact on it. So how much it is, we'll calculate it. But again, and even though it might weigh down on the index, I say, so there's probably going to be some good opportunities to pick some things up that maybe get unfairly punished because of Tesla, especially if it weighs on other EV makers. Now, it might not. It may pump them up. Maybe there's too many people thinking like I am. But like, I'm sitting here being like, oh, please, if Ford could go down in sympathy, that would be so awesome, right? Well, was there a Doge point pump? Where are they? They're not anywhere close to a new high on that, are they, right? Let's see here. Well, it looks like Doge is still on top after Shiba fell back down. But oh yeah, it's still not even close to. YouTube Finance says millennials are invested, and he's laughing because he's leveraged 400 to 1. Wow. Wait until the next crisis and most retail traders lose everything that they have. Well, the day traders will lose everything they have, sure, but I don't think that the majority of them are really truly day trading. Could be wrong, but. Yeah, this isn't even the highest that it's been in the last like 3 months, in fact. So, yeah, it's the interesting thing to think about is like, because they want to get to $1 or whatever it is, right? The amount of money that would be required to get them there, it would just be absolutely bonkers, right? And every day that it doesn't do it, it gets harder, right? Because there's more supply. I don't know how you work that all out, but I'm interested to see if Dogecoin here, there's usually in cryptocurrencies, it's usually consolidation kind of comes on the up, and then there's another push to new all-time highs. I don't know if it's possible for them to actually do it. I have to log in here. Hold on a second. My back is just not. I need to work out. So I'm going to be working out so hard today because my back needs the exercise, I think. See, my garlic coin was doing okay. It's been doing okay over the past, let's say, week. Yeah, it's not too bad. It kind of looks like a little bit of accumulation maybe going on over here in garlic coin. Especially when you look at that sort of a thing. It was like that must have been Sunday, right? We do a month. Now with a month, you can kind of see it. It looks like somebody has been slowly buying some up. You can see it in the volume too. There's like, you get volume, they back off, then you get volume. That looks like somebody that's smart is accumulating garlic coin. Anyways, should probably post. Well, so first of all, let's fix our camera here a little bit. Oops, I hate it when I do that. There we go. There we go. That's a little better. I moved the camera now. Oh, so here's the big news is I finally got my video recorded and done well. I got lucky because my wife got Sunday off, so I was able to edit it all day Sunday. It was I don't know. I think a lot of it was just me being ADHD, but it took me a long time to edit it. And we had many failed starts on trying to record it, but I got some new equipment in, and that equipment really helped out. So I got a new tripod that was a really heavy duty tripod. So that made it so much easier for me to just aim it exactly where I needed to aim it. And then I got a little external monitor. So instead of just using the monitor that flips out on the camera, which you can't really see with the teleprompter on it, I had one that I could put literally right in front of me. Like, you can't see it in the frame, but it's literally right in front of me. And that helps so much. That helped so much. Are we buffering? Well, it doesn't look like I'm dropping frames. We should keep an eye on that. Anyways, so I put the video out. It is called DOM and Order Flow Basics, or is it order? Oh, actually, you know what? While I was overnight, I was thinking, because I made the thumbnail, and I think I want to change it. I think I want to use the same picture. It's just I want it to say DOM on it. And Wi-Fi signal strong. Okay. So I want to use. I've used this picture more than once, but it seems to work. And this video, now projects. Oh, I can't believe I still have all that stuff. This one. Now, it's one of these. This one right here. Control C. Keep canvas size. And how did I'll just open up the other one. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Pictures. Oh, that's right. Okay, so let's do it like, I need to make a new layer. Okay. Do it. DOM. Oh, we need to change the font and everything. For beginners. Something like that. Oh no, we should order flow and DOM trading like that. Maybe you can make it a little bit bigger. Ah, that's not bad. I like that a lot better. Okay, I like that, but I do not like the background. So we're going to copy him here again. And I'm going to go back to the background and I'm going to paste it again. Keep canvas size. Good morning, Ace. You've been getting here early. That's good, though. That's good. How about that? That's a wrap. PNG. Oh no, you don't want a PNG, you want a JPEG because otherwise it's too big. And we were just calling it order flow 1. Yes. Latin. Now I'm just going to come over here to YouTube and update it. Treasury did have a little bit of downward movement there, but they came back to even, huh? And then it's still scheduled. Gotcha. Save. Yeah, we do get some Federal Reserve officials speaking today, don't we? Do I have to learn level 2 in the DOM to be good at day trading? Well, I'm not going to say that that's the only way to be good at trading. I think that if you want to do really short-term trading, that's a skill that's going to be really useful to you. But it's also reading flows on a higher time frame, I suppose you could say, is really, really effective as well. There's lots of, and you can just follow like one flow. Like you could just follow stock buybacks, for instance, and probably make money just off of stock buybacks. But trading is difficult either way. And you don't have to be like the smartest person ever, per se, but you do have to work hard. Yeah. Well, the Treasury's kind of hinting maybe that they want to go lower, or that the market makers are at least hedging that it could go lower. Let's see here. So there was a big trade at 16.5 that bumped us back up. I don't know. It's probably not a big deal, but I'm kind of like, I'm getting an inkling that they might go and do something. This is a situation though that I've been in many, many times where I think they're going to go for it, and I get tricked into it, and I go and I sell, and then they go back up to the highs, right? And we probably do have a little bit of a hole at 17 here. They've definitely traded it here over the last hour. So that might be a problem. Although it's been a long time too, so maybe they've already refilled it in. Toss out everything that doesn't give you joy. We did that a few weeks ago and lost 2 kids and a neighbor. Oh my. Yeah, I hope your kids aren't, you don't have the stream like on speaker and your kids can hear that I said that. And now they're going to start arguing about which 2 they got rid of. Oh my gosh. So we're at my parents' house yesterday, and one of my dogs is is so old, and this just I kind of feel like why he seems like he's in pain. Probably if he's really doing as poorly as it seems like maybe he is, and I don't know if he's acting up or what, but I suspect that dogs don't necessarily act up like that. So, just for your sympathy. So I think that probably he's hurting. You should take him and get him and put him down. But I don't want to put him down in part because it's like $300-400 because they have to put him out and then they have to dispose of him and stuff. It's crazy. And then, so I don't want to do that. And my mom, we're at my parents' house. My mom was like, well, give him to me. And I'm like, oh, no. Like, you would have him in your house for like one day and you'd be so fed up with him because he keeps peeing everywhere. He's like too lazy now. Or I shouldn't say it lazy. I should try and be more compassionate about it. He should, he doesn't want to go outside to do it. He just piddles somewhere on the carpet. I don't know why he always does it on the carpet. At least go do it on the hardwood, Mickey. Come on. Good grief. Yeah, anyways. And my mom was like, no. I mean, I'll take him to go get put down if you want to put him down. What? Well, I would like a younger dog. Like, the thing is, they're not my dogs. They're her dogs. And she got them both rescued, I think. And like, the one dog, Sadie, she is just dumb. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, oh my gosh. if I had a dog that was as loving as she is, but not dirt stupid, it would be the perfect dog. But she is just so dumb. Everything she does, I was like, what the heck are you doing? Apparently she was in her kennel for most of the beginning of her life, and that's why she's like that. And they're Yorkies, right? So I don't know, like, maybe we get a baby Yorkie. Maybe get a Yorkie puppy. That would be great. I don't know. I don't think that Yorkies are that great. I want a Pomsky. I want a Pomeranian Husky mix. That looks so freaking cool, man. Or like a Border Collie. Border Collie would be, like a little miniature collie. Really smart dog. But my wife's like, no, they both have fur. You can't have a dog with fur. They have to have hair. All right, whatever. Either way, though, they're going to train these dogs up my way. That dog is going to be an obedient dog. I'm going to go and get the book. I'm going to learn all of the things about the dog. I'm going to spend an hour every day training it. And that is going to be the smartest, most obedient, does all of the tricks dog that just wants to play with you all the time ever. And it will not pee on the carpet. Will not pee on the carpet. Tricolor Border Collie for the... Exactly. That's exactly. They're smart dogs. They are. Minimum dog requirement, it must be able to win a fight with a raccoon. Yeah, right, because the raccoons killed the chickens, right? At least I suspect that it was a raccoon. I don't think that anything else would have been clever enough to get in there like that, but... Doge is the best, won't be in. I don't know if a Doge is the right kind of dog for me. I want something that it does what it's supposed to. We probably get another teddy bear Yorkie. Did you know that there are different kinds of Yorkie? Like, everybody knows about the silky hair Yorkies, but the teddy Yorkies are great. They're like, yeah, like this. That's what Sadie is like. She's exactly like that, except for that we don't keep her hair up as well as nicely. But they're just fluffy, and they feel great. They feel great. You have hawks over there and they kill chickens? What? Well, raccoons are not very harmless to raccoons are rather harmless to humans, but to something like, defenseless like a chicken. But that's the thing. If you had a rooster, then they would be safe. Like, raccoon wouldn't get the rooster. Don't think, at least. Rattlesnakes. I had a coworker when I worked at that big bank. There was a coworker, and they had a new house, and it was up on the mountainside, and there was lots of rocks. So he said that he was killing like that if he went out there and was trying, he would kill like 3 rattlesnakes a day. Like, it was crazy. In fact, I think at one point his dog got bit. We had the rattlesnakes for sure. Wait, what is this? Nassim Nicholas Taleb bot says they think that intelligence is about noticing things are relevant, i.e. detecting patterns in a complex world, when intelligence consists in ignoring things that are relevant and avoiding false patterns. And he was quoting Taleb. And then Taleb responds and says, actually, IQ tests select suckers for noise who overdetect patterns and fools of randomness. There's rattlesnakes and then there's sidewinders. I don't know the difference. I remember one time I was hiking on a trail, right? And I'm moving and I see my scoutmaster is just stop frozen. And I'm like, he's looking at me and I'm like, what? And he points. And literally 2 feet away, sitting on a log, there's a rattlesnake all coiled up. He wasn't rattling, just rattlesnake all coiled up. We just keep walking by. He didn't do anything. That guy, I didn't realize it at the time, but there was something different about that guy. Because another thing that I remember happening was we crossed the river, and he just caught a fish in the air. Like, I don't know how this happens. It's just, I turn around and he has a fish in his hand. Like, what? He was just like, I think he was just like way more observant than myself at the very least. But I'm not very observant. It's funny. I'll notice all of these things that nobody else notices, but then there's these important things that everybody else picks up on that they all pick up on. One of the biggest things is just like the intonation in your voice and like making yourself comfortable. Like, I come in and clearing my throat, all of that sort of thing. Man, when I look back on my video recordings, if I didn't take my medication early enough, so I'm still a little ADHD at the beginning, I'm clearing my throat at the end of every sentence. It is so annoying. I'm like, oh man, yeah. Nobody would ever listen to anything I say. An emo? No, screw emus. Okay, there's this lady on TikTok. Have you seen the emu lady on TikTok? Basically, every TikTok of hers starts with the emu charging her and her putting her hand up in the emu's face and stopping it. Like, that bird would 100% murder that woman if it ever got the chance. 100% would murder that woman if it ever got the chance. And I'm like, why have an emu? You want the big eggs? They're not worth it. I don't think they're worth it. They're mean birds. Not worth it. Let's see here. Trading Floor Audio. Why would they be tweeting about the Regeneron drug? Regeneron drug reduces COVID risk by 81.6%, says Political. This was in phase 3 trials. Yeah. Yep, check me out on TikTok. Wait, what is that? That's not the right link. Is it? Go to the site. Let me see here. Oh, that's weird. The way that you did it didn't do it right. Here, let me do it. We even lost a war. Oh, that's right. The Great Emu War. Okay, so if I do that one works. Did you pull that one out of the stream links? Why's the... I don't know. That was weird. Wonder why it did that when you posted it. But I think you had stuff after it. It's just, yeah. Karen, the hissing emu, learns to cuddle. That probably is it. Let me see.
Welcome to Hope USA.
Oh, whoops.
Real place.
Whoops. You don't want to click it in that window. Hold on a second. Open link in new tab. Let's see here. Yeah, I think that is it. Yep. This is like, why have the emu? Why? That seems like not worth it. I may have noticed that the bids aren't stacking up quite up to 3,000 over here. What's with that? See, Karen has a troubled past. If we cooked emus like you guys cook turkeys, we'd solve world hunger. Is it because there's just that many of them? Oh no, he loves her. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna show my wife that later. Oh wait, here, okay, I'll text it to her to see that. I mean, I've seen the videos on TikTok, but I never saw them cuddling. What? Listen, that probably doesn't help your trading. Let's focus. And in all honesty, I don't think that the markets are going to do a whole... Well, I take that back. The S&P 500 has been on an upturn, right? But I suspect that things will be relatively quiet until the market opens. So one emu could feed 18 people. Oh, geez. They probably don't taste very good. Otherwise, people probably would eat them. Let's see here. President Biden tweets, "My bipartisan infrastructure deal will build a national network of charging stations for electric vehicles and thousands of miles of new resilient transmission lines for a clean energy grid." Well, good, because all of the Tesla owners in town are tired of waiting in line. Have you guys seen the lines for the Tesla charging stations? Oh my gosh, it's because not everybody gets the charger in their house. Right? In fact, apparently most people don't get it, right? So they all have to wait in line to get their car filled up, and they're like, oh, maybe this was a mistake. Together with the Build Back Better framework, it will help tackle the climate crisis. No, it won't. I'm sure Joe Biden personally put a lot of effort into writing that tweet for us. Fed's Claridia: if current inflation and job expectations are met, the policy path depicted in the September dot plot would be consistent with the Fed's framework. Gotcha. There is a reason there are more chickens than any other board. Yeah, chickens are awesome, dude. Chickens are a unique bird. They are. He's right. They absolutely are. Now, somebody said my name in Discord. What's this? Oh, I can't even find it. This must have been overnight. John Oliver talked about the electric grid. If we all go electric cars, we have a power grid problem. Well, yeah. So, like, the thing that's funny about all of this is that there's more energy involved in using electric cars than there is in gas cars. They're not as efficient. And one of the primary reasons for that is because of the exotic materials and stuff that you need to actually build the batteries. Like all of the new technology and stuff is based on these rare earth metals. And that requires a lot of energy to extract. And so when you look at the cost of the car and the cost of supplying the electricity to the car, it actually ends up using more electricity than just using the oil. So electric cars apparently don't solve the climate crisis at all, or at least that's what I was told. And yeah, then there's this other issue that Wynn is talking about, where it's like we would put so much demand on the power grid that we wouldn't be able to fill it. Like, you think about what was happening in Texas, where there was problems, and there's places in Europe that they're having problems keep supplying everybody's power, and like, it's just getting worse and worse. And then on top of that, there's all these people mining bitcoins. That doesn't help. That doesn't help at all. The numbers that I've been seeing about, like, the amount of energy that is used for a single Bitcoin transaction, it's insane. It is so stupid. It is just so stupid. The new spending bill is invested. Well, it's invested into a lot of things. I mean, oh man. So one of the things I was reading on Reddit, and I was like, I can't remember. It was different back then. Donald Trump had an infrastructure plan, right? And remember, the Republicans said, "Nah, we don't want to increase the deficit right now. We're not doing that." So, like, it didn't even get take off. They didn't even get to, like, putting a bill together and voting on it and everything. But a couple of them crossed the aisle to pass the Democrats' infrastructure plan, the bipartisan infrastructure plan, I guess. But the reality is that there was a lot of things in that infrastructure plan that were needed, and everybody will make a big deal out of the crazy things that are in there. But guys, how do you get 300 million people to agree on something? You can't, right? You have to grease the wheels a little bit. It's always been like that. It's a feature, not a hack. It's a feature of democracy. Abraham Lincoln used it to pass the constitutional amendment that they had that made, this is telling you it's a feature. How do we control it? I don't know, but at some point they're going to have to get a handle on the budget. I think voters are punishing them for it, though. I think that this time around, voters are genuinely upset that the government is just increasing the deficit and the amount of spending and the amount of power that they have exponentially, and so much so that they're looking around desperately for every tiny little thing that they can tax. And even though a lot of people are like, yeah, tax the rich, I think a lot of Americans are just fed up with this, So maybe voters will start holding their feet to the fire a little bit on spending. But the reality is And here's the kicker, and the reason why it's worth talking about. How do you solve the energy crisis? Nuclear power. That's the linchpin. That's how you know that liberals aren't really actually serious about this. They're just doing it to make themselves feel good, because if they were serious about actually solving the problem, they would realize, they would do the research, and they would go in and they would realize that literally the only way to solve this problem is nuclear power. It's the only energy source that we know of that is efficient enough to supply our energy needs without destroying the environment. It's the truth. I've researched this. I've spent so much time learning, because my father-in-law, he was a nuclear safety inspector. So I went and I learned as much as I could about nuclear power. It's the only way. They're getting closer to fusion. Yeah, but fusion's probably still 10 years off. And then what sort of things are they going to complain about in fusion? Well, treasuries up again, and about 3,000 contracts net buying through that as well. But another Chernobyl, yeah. Don't be Russians. I mean, gosh, it's so frustrating. There's like no chance of another Chernobyl happening. Okay. Here's the thing. What happened at 3 Mile Island was arguably a bigger fault, but because of the design, the more effective design of the U.S. nuclear reactor, it was no big deal. They just shut it down and it's fine. And that 3 Mile Island, like, that's the worst that happened. President went and, did a tour of the place. I mean, like, what happened was bad. Don't get me wrong. Like, what happened was bad. And if they had really told the public at the time what really happened, I think people would have been really freaked out. Okay. But it was fine. It was fine because we had safety. And with what we understand now and the technology and innovations that we've made, it would be even more safe today. And I mean, like, how safe is like almost mind-boggling to think about how much safer they've made them now. It's really something else. Yeah, because we wouldn't design a piss poor power plant, and then we wouldn't put it under a crazy stress test, and then we wouldn't have these engineers that, were just absolute maniacs. Oh man, the guy that was in charge at Chernobyl, that, during that test, he man. He's responsible for a real atrocity, just the decisions that he made, and I can see how just a regular person could make those mistakes, but I would think that in an American system that nobody would have that kind of a power. In an American system, the guy at the desk would be like, no. Because it's not like the guy in charge has control over your whole life like they did in the Soviet Union. Oh, I want to go and watch Chernobyl again. Nah, I don't know if I feel like starting something. I have something started. I need to finish reading Dune. I should be spending my free time. So you know what I was doing? I mean, I kind of started Dune already, but I was working on Metroid Dread, the game. Man, this game. So as a Metroid game, I think it's a really good game, Metroid Dread. There is the environment that you explore is massive. The twists and turns and everything, they're super great. It's very Metroid-like. The new abilities, they're fun. And the boss fights, oh my gosh, the boss fights are just like a completely different level. They're crazy. Okay, all this stuff, but the game is so flippin' hard. Oh my gosh, you will die so much. It is like Dark Souls like there's this one thing, there's a whole area of the map. You go into this map and there's this one creature that you can't destroy, that if it touches you, you're instantly dead. Okay, and you have to run away from it, and it will catch you. Oh my gosh, it's just and you know, it's a little stressful. It gets your heart going, but you die so often. Eventually, it just kind of numbs it because it's just too hard. And then you get to the boss fights. Oh my gosh, most of these boss fights are like, you know, it takes me a day or two to get to practice enough to beat the boss. Like the final boss, the final boss has 3 sections. Like there's 3 stages to the boss fight. Each stage is like a 5-minute battle. Okay, and I literally, it took me all week, you know, learning which attacks were what and how to dodge them and stuff, and when were the best times to hit back and everything. It took me a long time to beat that boss. So I get to the end, you know, it does all the cool things. You get a reward, you get a picture, you know, I don't know, apparently you have to get all the rewards to get Zero Suit Samus, and you can't see her in a bikini anymore, whatever. But you get through, you do all that, and you're like, yay, I beat the game, I've done everything, and then it says hard mode unlocked. What? I've died like a trillion times. There's a harder mode? What? Oh my gosh. So yeah, I'm you know, I need a break. We'll read Dune. I don't think I should be starting another TV series right now. Let's see here what you're saying here, Win. There are 444 nuclear fission power plants in 30 countries worldwide, with another 63 plants potentially under construction. I am reading. Is there really 63 under construction? They're probably all in China and France, though. Man, this treasury up move? I mean, we did kind of suspect. Remember, we said we'll see if the meta order continues today. Well, it continued today. I don't know if it's like the same order. I don't know what the drive is that is pushing them this way, but I was not anticipating it. I did not necessarily see anything in there either that really told us that it was going to do that. It's just they floated up to the high and then they kept going. And interestingly enough, there was points at which the bids were not really very strong. But now since they've extended, I can see that the bids have become a lot more confident. That's curious. Who knows, maybe this whole electricity crisis with all this electric demand could push towards nuclear power? Yeah, well, you know what's going to happen is China is investing in nuclear power, and it's going to have huge benefits to them. And then the Western world is going to be like, oh, crap, like investing in nuclear power really gave them a big advantage. And then they're going to try and play catch up. That's what's going to happen. It's unfortunate, but that's probably what's going to happen. And it's going to be like that with a number of things. Ugh. I don't want to get conspiracy theory, but you ever seen like that interview with the Russian defector who talks about the process of quote unquote demoralization? And he talks about, you know, when somebody has been demoralized, that you can basically show them the truth and all of the proof and they won't believe it. And he was talking more about how awful the Soviet Union was. He was saying, look, we can go and show you that there's concentration camps and take you to the concentration camps, and there'll be people in the United States that still want to favor the communist regime or are kind of Marxist. But I think that it goes like way further than that. And I feel that or I believe, or I shouldn't say believe, I should say I suspect that China has been kind of playing games with social media and pushing certain ideas and trying to hold back other certain ideas. And I think that nuclear power is one of them, because I don't know a single person that's really into the science of this sort of a thing that doesn't support nuclear power. But there's still like this army of trolls online that just think it's the most awful thing. China has to be trying to prevent the Western world from using nuclear power. I think that they want the Western world to get super concerned about climate change and, go down a path that is not very efficient and lose economic strength because of it. $220. I mean, could come back. I don't have any reason to think that it would do so here. Now, in fact, now that it's up, I wonder if you kind of have to just go with it all day again. But I'm not really feeling taking a strong trade today. I'm still licking my wounds from Friday a little bit. Because I don't see how that non-farms report says lower rates, It's coming back though. Let's see here. Let's just do a quick rundown here. 6J is moving up again with the treasuries. Gold is moving up. Pretty decent continuation gold. Oil's still on the down move, but mostly consolidating at this point. S&P 500 taking another little jump up there, 4,700. I've been hearing 5,000 before the end of the year. I think that's a pretty good target in ES. What else? The 6J is moving a lot on a relative basis. So that's like the star mover right now. That's like almost 5, and RTY as well. RTY is moving really good too. On the stocks, I would think that the move we'd want to be making is get out of Tesla and get into small caps, right? There are two types of Marxism, utopian and scientific. Scientific is based on the idea of Plato's philosopher kings, the class designed to rule with thought, as opposed to utopian. Well, yeah, no. See, here's the problem with socialism. Okay, the system is too complicated for humans to comprehend. That's the problem. They think that they can come in and they can use science and you get the right formulas and you can determine the price for everything and manage the economy correctly. And they tried that in China for a long time. What did they realize? You need free markets. You need free markets not only because it provides an incentive for people to work and to grow the economy, but you need a free market because that's the only way that you can do the calculation. The free market is the calculation. The prices, it's not efficient. There's probably ways to make it more efficient, okay? But it's a heck of a lot better. It's a heck of a lot better than what happens in centrally planned economies, right? Yeah, you got out of your ES trade. So I'm gonna bet you. Well, I maybe I could be wrong. Nah, I'm not gonna say that. I was going to say that I bet you that the ES has a little jump on the open. But I'm thinking about it now with Tesla. There's probably going to be some people that are going to sell Tesla on the open. So it may not do that. Probably we're going to have more activity on the open than is normal for a Monday, though. I think we could say that. I think we could expect more flow in the S&P 500, particularly around the open, than you would normally get on a Monday. We got a pretty decent flow up there in the treasuries. It was about 7,000 contracts. That's not like super crazy though. So if we're saying like all of the up movement last week was one large meta order buying, maybe a large sovereign wealth fund, and I'm not saying it is, it's just possible. That's a theory. But if we go along with that theory, are we seeing another leg of that meta order? Well, the amount of volume so far is in the range that it could just be the traders doing that. It could just be the traders that all were prone to go long and they just had a little spike, and that could come back, right? We'll see if the buying continues. You locked in your profits and got hit. Well, you were trailing that awfully close. Humans are both nature and nurture. They'll find a way to game the system, any political system. But if we look to history, we know democracy has a beacon in it. Yeah, well, because the pendulum, the thing is that there are processes within economies that are almost self-reinforcing. But even those can only go so far before there are other mechanisms that bring them back. That's where it's like markets are not half as effective as we think or wish that they were, but they're a heck of a lot more efficient than the alternatives, and they're more fair than the alternatives. That's really what it comes down to. We haven't chosen the economic system that we have because it's the most efficient. We have chosen the economic system that we have because it gives the most freedom. We can clearly see how inviting government intervention and regulation in certain instances makes the market more efficient. And there's kind of a question about how far can you take that? Yep, because orders move price, exactly. I have to say, you know what's something I've been thinking about this morning? There's lots of people that use gamma. Okay. When somebody was showing me a system where they had kind of done inventory analysis, like what we do on the S&P 500 futures, but they were doing it with stock options to kind of determine which way the gamma could go and where the major lines were. And it looked like they were really effective with it. I don't know if like their short-term trading and their selection of where to trade and everything were the best, but they were getting the general direction correct because of the options, right? So like there's some real edge in that can predict future orders. Well, I think that there might be an even more reliable edge that we're kind of aware of and that people talk about, but that we're just ignoring, and it's stock buybacks. I think that we could come in and we could build a model to estimate how much money is going into stock buybacks and where it is most heavily positioned, like which stocks and when it's going to come. And I don't know how you do that, but there's reports and stuff, right? And we could build a model to tell us when stock buybacks are going to be the most. And we could use that to trade. I think that would probably be more reliable. Morning, AO. Okay, so here we start. Claridia, inflation is high, much more than a moderate overshoot. I would not consider it a performance. Next year, a policy success. Yeah. Trading floor audio. Quoting Bloomberg, bubble fears are rising as financial conditions flash boom times. BlackRock Incorporated's Rick Reidler and Alliance SE's Mohammed El Rain are among those warning that systemic risks will only multiply unless monetary officials take more decisive measures. Well, the treasuries came back hard here, by the way, and they're coming back in cumulative delta as well. Which makes me think that it's not another leg of the meta order. Well, you say it straight dropped on the open? The orders were net buy in the futures, at least. It did drop, but by about this is maybe about 3 points down, right? So I think we're seeing the amount of volume and activity that I was anticipating, but it was a little bit more even than I thought. But we're not even done with a minute yet, so. Let's see here. I should come and look at my calendar and check on what the other other Fed members are here. Okay, so Chairman Powell speaks in an hour. Why does my voice keep cracking this morning? What's with that? I'm not going through puberty again. This is why I can't trade during the day. If I went long, it's too active for you. Them treasuries recovered nicely. I should have faded it. Remember, I was like, well, I have no reason to think that it's going to turn here. And yet that was exactly the right spot. How do I keep doing that? I think some of that has to be just luck, because I think it was just on a whim that I was thinking maybe I would reverse here. And I quickly thought better of it, right? So that it actually did end up turning, and that ended up being the spot. I think it was just a coincidence. Now, should I go long rates here at this spot? Well, you don't have too bad of maybe we could go long one spot 5-1 in the hopes that we get one spot 5-2-1, right? But again, I'm not really seeing anything that really tells me that's going to happen. And we got Fed speakers, so I don't know if maybe some of that up movement was because they decided that Claridia was dovish. It could be. I didn't really see much on Twitter about it, but because of the Fed speakers, I think it's probably better for me to stay out. Yes, thank you, Win. Wow, you were on that fast. Oh, was it because YouTube gave you the notification? So I will give you guys the link. So here's the new video. Could load it up now and start watching it if you want. You can wait. But I would appreciate it a lot if you could watch it in the next hour. The more of you guys that click that link and watch it and watch the whole video in the next hour, the better. And this video, you know, this is our thing, right? This is what we specialize in, and I've made the most comprehensive beginner's video I can conceive of at this time. So, and I think that there's some really good information in here. So if there's any video that we ever push hard, it should be this one, yeah? So I really would appreciate it if you click on that link and watch it. And share it around. We should probably go around and, hey, you know, I wonder if I post stuff on Facebook. Now, you know what? I found that stuff works better if I do it around too. I think I'm going to post it on Reddit and Facebook and stuff. I'm gonna pimp this video out because I really want this video to do well. I had a dream last night that this video did crazy well. Like I had a video that like it sent millions of viewers our way and the whole channel blew it because of this video. Which is probably not going to happen because there's not that many people that are interested in order flow. But I do think that we could rank pretty high for order flow. And I think I created a good video that's engaging and stuff. So, yeah. I appreciate it, guys. Okay, well, there's a little bit of liquidity there at 19 that's kind of on the edge. Where this kind of up move originated from, that seems to be trying to hold us. And they did respond by levitating a little bit. By the way you talk so smoothly in a good way, you kind of remind me of a returned missionary. Yeah. I was a missionary. Crazy. Well, you can see the future. Sometimes I can. This is the thing is like, I try not to take a trade over here in the micros unless I have a really strong reason to believe that we're going to move in a certain direction. And I don't always necessarily go 100% into why I think that. I usually just kind of mention it in passing, right? But right now, like we've been getting this buy and I don't know where it comes from. Well, there was a large amount that just transacted there at 09.5. I'm gonna mark that. Anyways, so it was just lucky. I'm telling you, it was just lucky because I don't have any of that today. I don't have something that, okay, because of X, Y, and Z, these are the flows that we're anticipating today. I don't have that. And that's also kind of why I suspect that this move is just trading, that volatility in the treasuries is still high, and that's why it moved so far, but that there's not like a really strong fundamental flow behind it, that it's just traders trading. Also, I appreciate that you say that I talk so smoothly, but I kind of suspect that you're brown nosing because sometimes I do not talk smoothly. Sometimes it's like in the middle of a sentence, I have to breathe in, clear my throat, make mouth noises. Oh man, with the other microphone that I use when I make the videos, it's so bad. I can't, it's hard for me to watch myself and edit the video when I'm done. When I get the video all in the form that you guys see it, I'm like, this is so good. I watch it and I'm like, how did I make that? I am surprised at how good it is. It is better than I thought that I could make something. Like, I'm enjoying watching it, even though I wrote it. Maybe I'm just full of myself, but I'm enjoying watching this. But when I'm editing it, oh, I can't stand watching myself. I'm like, just breathe, man, breathe. Watching it, yeah. If you watch it in a separate window, that works too. There's something about YouTube where like it knows if you are watching. I should go and confirm this again, but somebody was telling me that if you watch it in the background, it treats it differently than if you watch it actively. So it's like you have them all open, and maybe you have the volume for that lower, but that's the window that's like selected, and Windows is active, it seems to know. The most important thing though is you watch the whole thing and click like on the video. Oh, and then leave a comment. That's another one on this video. If you because I think you guys everybody will have something to say, right? Because it's basically like, what are your beginning order flow tips, right? The comment section of that video could be so valuable, right? So that will really help the video too, is if you guys all leave comments. Okay, well, they moved away. So in this situation, remember I was saying maybe one spot 5-1 and you could try and get one spot 5-2 and get $10 at least? I still think that that's an okay play, but because we had this big order here at 19.5, that could hamper movement. So I think it may be some time. It might not be until 8:30, around that 8:30 reversal time period that we often get. Excuse me. I think it might be a while before we move away from this location. Could be wrong. They could just push back down really quickly. Then that would be, an aggressive move. But for now, there was enough volume there in 19.5 that it could potentially suck us back up into it. This comment here in Discord is unnecessary. Deleted. I'll watch it again with only that one. There you go. You appreciate it, Greg. You're awesome. One of the things that I think is weird is there are some channels out there where their viewers they really push that guy's, the creator's videos hard. I don't know how what the deal is, but you guys do it too when I tell you to on stream. So I think that one of my problems is that I don't necessarily make super interactive videos. Like my videos are usually like, I know everything. Then everybody's afraid to comment, right? Because they know I'll argue with them. Although I'm going to bet you on this video, there's going to be a lot of, oh, this doesn't work and this doesn't work, that sort of a thing. There'll probably be a lot of negging on this video, but that's okay. It helps the video. And there'll probably also be a lot of like questions that I plan on covering in future videos. So That's the other thing is I think this video could do really, really well. But what I really hope is that we can continue the momentum into the other videos, because it'll be the other ones, particularly video 3, where I'm going to talk about the more advanced stuff about what we know about order flow from research studies, right? But I've got a lot of work ahead of me before that. I've kind of only outlined it. So I got to finish writing the next script before next weekend, so we can just go boom, 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 1, 2, 3, right? Well, 17.5 was the open. S&P 500 had a pretty good move up off of the open, and then they came back a little bit more on the downside and are kind of meandering slowly down at the moment. Maybe I should be pulling up Tesla here, because I don't know, man. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. We're going to need to keep an eye on what it's doing. The Windows stole my focus there for a second. So I had to do it twice. All right. Well, we got Dwank is doing a little bit. Zillow's doing okay today. It's only back up 1%, but that's good. maybe they'll be able to withstand this after all. Okay, so there's, oh yeah, this Tesla's ugly. 1 minute and we'll make it big. Oops. Why won't it let me zoom in correctly? There we go. Maybe that's what we need. There we go. Okay, so they saw on the open a recovery and then a little pullback. So they're kind of at a little bit of a decision point in Tesla, aren't they? Well, I should open up it as a quote too. And that way we can at the very least watch the total volume there to try and get an idea of the pace. It's not very good order flow reading tool, but it's the best that we've got for stocks. So well, them treasuries have come all the way back. So it looks like the trade that I was talking about, yep, would have worked. They moved away from that 19.5 area much more easily than anticipated. Which kind of says to me this market is a little slippery. And we did see like all of that volume that came in long and brought us up to the highs has come back out and sold. So it would not surprise me. I am seeing a change in the 2s and 10-year spreads as well, Would not surprise me to see us break new lows now. So we should, well, would it be worth one to go from 5.2 to 5.3? Yeah, although I think there's probably still a good chance that we get sucked back up here a little bit first. Plus the volume profile. Ugh. So in the 10-year, the spot that I'd be looking for would be like 090 maybe. Yeah, this could fall back a lot. I don't know. 5-year 0.67. That seems like the next kind of leg down. 15, okay. So it's possible that we could break and start getting a little bit of a rush back down and retracing some of Friday's move. Again, I don't have any larger predictive order flow reason to think that will happen. I just can see the possibilities in front of us. So Clarita is saying a bunch of stuff and I'm not hearing him on Financial Juice. What's with that? The neutral nominal rate is above 0. Oh, really? Yes. Oh, I think that the neutral rate is above 0, but should it really be 2%? That's the interesting question. Too complicated for, I think, a Fed speaker in public to be talking about. Department of Justice Attorney General Garland, Deputy AG Lisa Monaco, FBI Director Wray, and Deputy Treasury Secretary Adeyemo will announce a significant law enforcement matter at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, being tweeted by Matt Ford and retweeted by Carl Quintilla. I'm going to pay attention to this one because it's a financial matter if it involves the Treasury. My best guess is it's going to be a Tether thing. But they say it's a significant law enforcement matter at 12:30 Eastern Time. So I'm gonna be watching. I want to know what that is. That could be something pertinent to our interests. Well, we did as I kind of suspected. We did kind of float back up to 17.5. You can see that the rates aren't coming back as much, though. Kind of looks like... So today in the Treasury, the spreads haven't really moved, which is also really curious. Oh, you know what I never did? I never turned on our our little LED thing in the background. Oh, geez. I really need to just write a script that automatically does it for us. There we go. Yeah. You can't really read what it's saying now, though, because I changed the camera settings when I was recording. I'd have to make it a little bit sharper in the background. Bring the aperture down a little bit. I'm going to leave it like this for now, though. I'm not going to mess with it. The Bank of France calls for... Did I say French? France? The Bank of France calls for further research on a central bank digital currency for wholesale use in the finance industry sector. So I'm curious to see if we come back to like 19 in the 10-year, because look, it's sliding back there really easily, right? If the micros are going to come all the way back. Meanwhile, S&P 500 starting to sell here. Let's pull Tesla back up. Well, Tesla, 1,165, seems to be handling things right now okay and is not diving with the index. So it's must be driven by something else at the moment. I really need a tool that says, like, in the last minute, what in stock has moved the most. You know what I mean? That would be a lot of data to parse. Maybe interactive brokers could do it for us. What do you think? Maybe I could just use a public API. Man, my throat is feeling really gravelly today. I keep feeling like I have to clear it. Sources say the government, I don't know which government that is. I don't know if that doesn't sound like the U.S. government. Government likely to move cryptocurrency bill at the start of the winter session of Parliament. Work on modifying proposed cryptocurrency bill. Earlier draft proposed a ban. FinMin officials trying to fast track bill. And that is, where is that? CNBC TV 18. I don't know who that is. Who is that? Show this thread. Is that Canada? We may be the first country around the globe to have a defined framework for cryptos. Who is this guy? Doesn't tell us where he lives. The world's largest cricket stadium. Isn't that India? Must be India. Narendra Modi Stadium. That is definitely India. Okay, So that's kind of odd. It's odd to me that I'm seeing that tweeted, and it's like, Live Squawk's tweeting that. They don't say who it is. Okay, yeah, here we go. Breaking crypto. Indian government is likely to move cryptocurrency bill at the start of the winter session of parliament. That would make sense why they would be interested in banning it, because they're going to be in the areas that are having energy issues, right? The Babylon Bee tweets, airport revenues soar after allowing travelers to turn off CNN. Oh, you guys kill me. So they've gone back and forth there at 18 a little bit. Now is a good time, I think, here to remind you, if you haven't clicked the link to watch today's video, I would really appreciate you click the link. I'll put it here in chat. I'd really appreciate you go and click that link and go and give it a watch. I'm sure that it's quiet here partly because some of you guys have been watching it. It's only a 10-minute video. Only a 10-minute video. I wish I could add the redirect, but apparently in order to do the redirect thing, you have to set it as a premiere, which is like, meh, whatever. Maybe next time I should premiere it at the end of the stream and see if that helps, but... What made your girlfriend / wife look at you the way Jeff Bezos' girlfriend looks at Leonardo DiCaprio? What? Oh my. She was totally flirting with him. Wait, I'll show you. Yeah. You know what? I would like to meet Mitch. Am I the only person that thinks that Jeff Bezos looks like a fun guy? Like, he's a nerd. Yeah, totally. He's like an awkward, dorky nerd. He's my people. I want to hang out with Jeff. He just seems like a goofy, nerdy guy. With no, everybody keeps making fun of him. For things like when they went into space, for instance, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's my people right there. That's the sort of dumb stuff we do. Well, the S&P hasn't turned off full on bear yet. But they are pretty down. They are on the downside here. I guess it's like what, 4 points down from the open. Tesla is just holding pretty decently at the 47 area. Oh, actually, you know what? I didn't have it. There we go. Oh, yeah, let's fix that. There we go. Okay, so I'm wondering though, if the S&P 500 keeps, there's a new session low. If the S&P 500, I thought that it was going to be like Tesla was going to drag the indexes down with it, but now it's looking like it's the opposite. It's going to be the index is going to drag Tesla, and if Tesla starts selling, could Tesla accelerate it? You think that the markets are waiting for Powell to start here? That's still 30 minutes from now, right? Let me double check. Yep, 8:30. But you know what? So here's the thing. Let's come here to forexfactory.com. Description: due to deliver opening remarks at an online conference on gender and the economy virtually hosted by the Federal Reserve Board. So that does not sound to me like a speech that is really going to have a lot of direct economic policy in it per se. I don't know. Like they're not going to be talking about interest rates in that, right? Maybe there is some other stuff because there are some people are concerned about the Federal Reserve trying to use their abilities to try and put their finger on the scales, right? But I'm not expecting too much from it. But you might still be right, FTH, that the markets, when they see his name on the docket, you know, I'm more excited about what's going to happen at 12:30 Eastern time. I want to know. It's always like, strong enforcement action. I get a little excited. Just a little excited. You know what? Now is probably a good time. I should probably always take a break at 8 o'clock, but I need to be drinking some more water. So I'm going to go and refill this. You know what happened? I broke my water thing. It's a problem with glass. Even if I got this silicone sleeve, it can break if you drop it on cement. You think we're going to get a pump and dump today? I see small bowl candles followed by strong. Well, I try not to look at the market in that kind of a fashion, because I think what you're kind of saying is like you see it move up and then you're going to see it move. Like you're trying to determine what's going on based off of the chart pattern, right? And I don't particularly care about chart patterns. It's not like there can't be an inefficiency in the market that you could pick up on based on the chart patterns. But the market tends to arbitrage those away quite easily, and there's a lot of noise in it. So I'm more interested in orders, because orders are what actually move price, right? Tesla is faring better so far than I anticipated, but who knows? This could be one of those things where it's like they recover the overnight losses and then they fall back down. I don't know. It's people trading, right? They're trading because of what Elon said. It's not the actual impact of him selling. When he comes in and sells, like, yeah, so this is going to have an impact. It's going to have an impact. But so far they're doing not so bad. Tesla is, even though the larger index is kind of struggling, which is kind of a little weird, right? It does seem like NQ is kind of like pushing down more. So like, well, okay. So if we look at the indexes, NQ is down like spot 4%, whereas the RTY is already up 0.5%. And where is YM? YM is up spot 35%. Right. So the small caps, like we suspected, the small caps are outperforming and the tech are underperforming because of Tesla. But something else must be dragging them down somewhere else, because Tesla's up, right? So I'm not quite sure what else is responsible for the S&P 500 turning down. Okay, I'll be right back. You say NQ has some positive delta? Well, I might be getting... So the thing is because I don't have like a chart of every index component in front of me, it could be the case that the only reason NQ is down relative to the others is because of Tesla, and that the NQ since the open is actually outperforming. That could be the case. I think that I have like a how do I do it? Watch list maybe? Yeah, map. Here we go. And then watch lists, indices, SPX. No, that's not it. Hold on a second. No, that doesn't really work either. Like, I can show a map of the ones that I have, but I don't actually have a list of like all S&P 500 components through this. So you don't like the t-shirt in the new video? I just pick a relatively, what is the word? I mean, normally it's just like a blue shirt, right? I try and go normcore, but that one was a little too flashy that time, huh? That for some reason in Fidelity it doesn't always, like, I'll pull it all the way over, but it doesn't track it for some reason. I hate that. But hey, the content was good, right? The content was good. I thought it was, I was pretty proud of what I did. Well, interesting, the treasury. So the thing is that treasuries are like, like ranging here in the 17.5 area again. That's where it was before that big spike and move back down. So it really does look like a trade move. Now the 6J was moving up, right? And then the treasuries moved up with it. But then the treasuries came back down. 6J did not. Gold did come back a little bit. The dollar is getting weaker. The dollar is at 94 right now. You can see it right up there on the left portion of the screen, right? Like the dollar at the moment seems to be getting crushed, and it probably is helping Tesla there, right? Tesla back up to 1,190. Also, I don't know if having my wife dress me would really make that's not her thing. She's not the stylista. She went and she got one of those things where like, yeah, you answer a few questions about you and then they send you clothes, and she didn't like what they sent her. Because her thing is basically like she'll wear a shirt with a floral pattern on it. That's how she dresses. That's her uniform. Wow, Tesla takes a $61 billion hit after Elon Musk. Is that really how much they lost in market cap? Wow. You have a 10K toner? What do you mean by that? Like, oh, that's kind of weird. I mean, I don't, do you hear like noise or something? Are you saying it's noise in the background, or are you just saying that my mic is really, or are you talking about this mic? Because if you're talking about this mic, I might know why that could be. In fact, like, we just turn it off. So does that sound different to you? Did it go away? I am. Well, now that's interesting. Where is... Yeah, it's gone. That's funny. Care to explain the pink mouse? I think it looks awesome. I think so. So when I went to get this mouse, this new one came out. I like the Zowie mice. Zowie mice. And you had to pick choices. There was a baby blue and there was a hot pink. And I was like, well, I don't want some pussy color like baby blue, so I went with the hot pink. What was it? You know, I here, I'll show you. Since you're interested in it, I love talking about this sort of stuff. So let's talk about it. So I have a couple of filters over here. Something's wrong because if I pull this OBS over, something's changed. So if I pull OBS over here and I don't say anything, it doesn't go back all the way down. So that's just the noise floor. There we go. Now we're probably at an okay spot. Anyways, so I got this filter. I use open air. Open air is so nice. So that's with open air on in it, and it really adds just a lot of high end. Now, but that's why I'm wondering, is it just that you think that my voice is just a little bit too airy, or was it that you could actually hear the noise floor and it was accentuating the noise floor? Like, does this sound okay now, or do you guys think it's better with it off? What do you think? Let me close this, move it back over here so I can see what you're saying. I'm into the sound engineering stuff. But the thing is that I might, the way that it sounds to me with my nice hardware might be a little too much, Yeah, I think you're probably right. I don't think that we really need it. I don't know why I ever had it on. I should probably do some EQ and stuff to it, but it's not really necessary. As long as it's not too quiet. But it's fine right now, yeah? Like, I'm peaking at 10. Probably a little bit quieter than I was. Let's see here, because I could come back in here and just on the compressor, it'd just be like 16. That'd be a little better. You say it sounds, well, I still have the compressor on. I still have a compressor and I still have an expander that when I'm saying nothing, it really cuts out the background noise. This microphone alone sounds good. This microphone doesn't really give you like the radio voice, you know what I mean? It sounds more like a live concert without the echo. Because this is the kind of microphone that they often would use at concerts, especially back in the day. Okay, so by the way, I read that the infrastructure bill passed last Friday night. So what will be the clash with infrastructure versus tapering of bond buying? Good question. So the thing with the infrastructure bill, let me bring my mic over here a little bit. The thing with the infrastructure bill is that most of the money that they're using to pay for the infrastructure bill is coming from the unused money from the previous stimulus. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. Get the hiccups out. Okay. It's unused like PPP funds. Like, you know, all that money that they made available to small businesses and stuff, and like they didn't use it all. You know, like the programs just weren't run very well and they weren't able to use it all. That is going into the infrastructure bill. So the infrastructure bill in and of itself, I don't think you should see affect Treasury supply all too much. The taper certainly does, but it seems like the market seems to think that that's largely priced in. But I don't know where the buying's coming from lately. It seems a little nonsensical to me, the way that the jobs report came out so positive and then the Treasury's bought hardcore. Like, what? Okay. Yeah. I feel I need this microphone. The problem is that the default it's not enough. I probably should switch to a newer audio interface. I should put that on my list because it's just not, my voice in my headphones is not as loud as I would like. I need something with a lower noise floor. Watch, if you posted a video, I can't see it. Only moderators can post links. You might have to post it in like Discord or something. Get the mic a little bit closer and get a little more bassy sound. One of the things that sucks is that I can't monitor like what the mixer has done to the headphones. But maybe I can find an audio interface that does that too. Like the interface that does the compression and everything built into it so that I can hear it in my headphones as I compress it. We'll see. Maybe changing the audio like that, people like the audio better and they'll listen to it more. We'll see. I'll go back and watch it too and see if I can hear a difference later. I like the audio and gear stuff too much, and now I've been getting into the photography side of it too, and you can get way too carried away with that stuff, man. It's a Jeff Snyder video. Was it the last time that Jeff Snyder was with Futures Trader 71? Because he says some things that are useful, but he also says some things that were complete nonsense. Like the thing I remember at that time was they're going to taper, and Jeff was saying, well, what the Federal Reserve doesn't matter, basically. And I'm sitting here like, well, we know that that's not true because we know that orders move markets. And if the Federal Reserve isn't going to be out there buying as many treasuries, that's going to have an impact on interest rates, period. And right now, the taper isn't really effectively priced in. And so rates are going to have to increase. And guess what? They did. They increased a lot. Right? Now we've gotten back into that move. Right? Because remember, I come back to a volume profile here. I was like, way back here in late September was when I was like, they haven't priced this in correctly. The interest rates need to rise, right? And sure enough, they did. And then there was this other one where it was like, wow, they're still going. I don't know if that one is necessary or not, but then that one kind of came back. And I think that this has more to do with this was the finally pricing in the taper, because really there were some people that just really didn't think the taper work was going to happen for some reason, right? But there was they're changing their expectations about, will they raise rates next June or will they raise rates next December? And some of them were moving their expectations up to June. And now I think after the Bank of England in particular came out and was, kind of backed off on raising rates. And I think that overall kind of pushed them all back, and maybe they're starting to reprice it back to December. I think that's what might be going on here, but it's sure is a lot of volume. Like this last week, that's something else. This is the only day last week. This was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday was Fed day where we were down, and then every other day was up. What's with that, right? So it's not orders that what causes the order that comes in. Well, no, it's not. What causes the orders is important, though, because what we can do is we can come in and we can say, for instance, would be a really great example here. We've talked about this before, though. This day right here, you see it there on the left, that big spike up? That was auction week, I believe. It was either there or here. Maybe it was here. Okay. Maybe it was here. Let's see. If I come back and I look at the ZB, you'll see it really strongly. Yeah, it was here. Let's confirm that. It was September 23rd. Oops, I was going by days. This week, apply settings. Oh, no, it wasn't the 23rd. Okay, so October, it was on the 13th. That was here. And in September, it was on the 8th and 9th. Ah, okay, yes, right here. Okay. So this right here, why did we move up? Because of the auctions, there was strong demand at the auctions. Why is there strong demand at the auctions? Because there aren't very many treasuries out there. They have to fight to buy them, right? Because the Federal Reserve bought them all, okay? But there's still, the Federal Reserve is going to taper asset purchases, right? So what do you get? You get a short-term supply and demand problem that is basically preventing the market from pricing in the taper. And then as soon as the auctions are over and they get all their stuff, what happens? They actually price the taper in, right? It's like there are orders that can be out there that you can predict are going to happen. And even though everybody knows that they're going to come, it doesn't price it incorrectly. It's just so weird, right? But that's why we just have to understand markets are very statistically efficient, but not informationally efficient, right? And if you know why individual moves are happening, then you can kind of make this determination that, well, we've moved up because of something that doesn't really reflect the fundamentals. That is just some, and it could be over here. Maybe we find out that this is because the Bank of Japan is buying a lot of bonds, right? And we could come in and we could say, well, this doesn't actually reflect anything about Federal Reserve policy or anything. And now we can turn around and say, but the Federal Reserve is still going to raise interest rates in June. And so interest rates need to rise. Like we can make those kind of determinations if we try and follow the order flow and form theories about why certain moves happened. And then, after the fact, you'll get more and more information to kind of confirm and deny until you get to the point where we can look back at something that happened a month ago and we can be pretty sure why it happened, right? I believe more in the fixed income market than the talk from the Fed. Yeah. Well, this is where it was, the whole point was that the Snyder, just straight up, he has a pretty good handle on the markets, and I think that he does more research on it than myself. But he also says things that I can just prove are false. Okay, like he was saying that the Federal Reserve easing monetary policy and all of that doesn't really matter because it's the banks that control the money supply and everything. Is just like, okay, look, when I worked for the big bank, they got excited because this was back when they were talking about QE2, right? When they were talking about QE2, I remember asking a trader about it, and they were excited because they knew that it brought in business. They just knew it brought in business. They knew that they had more leeway and that they could go to their clients and say, hey, let's run this trade for you guys. You should do this and you should do this because we have the money to do it. Whereas otherwise it would be like, well, we can only do so much and we have to focus on like the biggest, most important things, right? Like it straight up increases the activity. And Jeff was saying like, it doesn't matter. It's like, no, it totally matters because orders move markets. and this causes banks to behave in a way that actively creates more orders. So I wouldn't just straight believe everything that they say. I would just always think of it from our perspective, from a trading perspective, or at least the way that I trade. I'm always thinking, what are the flows? What do I know now that could predict future flows? Right? I think if we were going to play today, I don't really have a strong reason to think that the flows were going to be either way. But when I look at the way that it's played out, I think that if you were going to have done it effectively, you would have to think, okay, the market was up really big on Friday. There's going to be a lot of traders that want to continue that momentum and trade with the momentum. So we want to buy. But if we don't see any signs of informed trading or large institutions, large meta orders coming in and buying it up, then any of those moves are likely to retrace. And then here, when we saw the retrace, because of other things that we know about liquidity, like, the liquidity holes and the inverse sine law and all of that, to say that, yeah, there's a pretty good chance that they'll push to new lows. Because remember, I was saying, I think they'll push to new lows, but I think they're going to come up here first, right? I was actually able to use the liquidity to game out pretty well what it was going to do. I didn't trade it because in that situation, it wouldn't take very much for it to have turned out differently, right? So from my perspective, it wasn't worth the risk. But what can we do? We can use what we know about the markets, the context. In this case, it was more of the context of trading, but it could be the context of what the Federal Reserve is doing, or it could be in the context of significant technical levels. And then if we understand order flow well enough, we can kind of say, when I get that flow coming in, this is how it's likely to play out, right? And that's how I try and play it. It's hard to do. I don't always get it right. I definitely got it wrong on Friday, man, because I thought, yeah, this is going to raise interest rates. These are really good jobs numbers. and it did the exact opposite, and I still have no clue why. But you're not always going to know everything, right? And that's also the really big one. I would always be highly suspicious, and I'm not saying that that's Jeff, but I see it on CNBC all the time. Be extremely suspicious of people that act like they know everything. The responsible person that's really going to give you information that's useful to you is going to understand and is going to stress to you that they can only see a very small section of the overall market knowledge, right? It's just too big and complicated for one person. That's why we have markets, right? The whole idea of a guru, in my opinion, stands in the face of why we even have markets in the first place. So there's 15. What did it end up being here in the micros? Only back to one spot 5.2. So that wouldn't have been a very worthwhile trade because I don't think that we ever got quite all the way back to 51. We could have only made like $5 off of that. So it would have been okay to have traded here in the 10-year, but for me, it actually did do exactly what I thought it was. It was like, it's going to move, but not move enough. But that's okay. We don't have to take, especially Mondays. That's another thing is I tend not to do very well on Mondays, so I'm kind of been avoiding taking a trade today. Should have taken a sim trade on the ES, but where would that have gotten me? Just chopped up, right? The scene of the crime, yep. TLA Trader, you're saying this is the scene of the crime. That's something, if there was anything that I could have told myself when I was starting out, it would have been that. So they often return back to the scene of the crime. Why? Because people already traded there. And it's not like they agree on that price or anything like that. It's just so many people have already traded there that there's not very many people left that want to trade there. You go below that, you get more people that want to trade that. You get above that, you get more people that want to trade that. And what do they want? How do they want to trade it? Well, typically, these ones are going to want to sell and these ones are going to want to buy. And so it gets stuck. It gets stuck despite their best interest, because the people taking those trades, somebody takes that trade because they were concerned it was going to keep going, right? Usually there's reasons why those big orders come out. It's not necessarily because they all think that it's a good price, right? Because this guy wouldn't be buying it if he didn't think that price would continue up, and this guy wouldn't be selling it if he didn't think the price was going to go down. So it's not agreement. It's more of a mathematical and statistical aberration. But if you just think about the market in terms of those looking for those liquidity holes, and then also remembering the inverse sine law and the square root law, right? If we have a trend, it can only go so far before the order book becomes constrained, and then they have to back off and wait at least 45 minutes to 90 minutes, right? And then they can do another leg of the meta order. But then if another meta order comes in and is the opposite, it will go twice as far. You understand those three things, right? Inverse sine law or square root law, inverse sine law, liquidity pockets, right? And now all of a sudden I feel like I'm calling these areas pretty well from day to day. And the only thing that really determines whether I'm super successful that day or not is how well I understand the fundamentals to know, are they going to buy or sell today? That would have saved me so much time. And it wasn't even like I didn't, it was staring me there in the face the whole time. Like I remember when I worked for Goldman, I was like, well, so what sort of things did you look up? And they said, well, you want to look at efficient edge execution and like read Almgren Chris. And I looked up that study and I saw it, and it was like, large portfolio like I didn't get it. It didn't dawn on me that like this was like the basis of how they execute. I don't know why. I was so dumb. I was so dumb. And then it wasn't until I read that book and all of a sudden I was like, oh, that's why they did this. That's why they did this. It was, like they didn't teach me all of those things. I learned them on my own. But then once I learned them, I could look back and it was like, this is staring me in the face the whole time. The answer to all of my problems. So funny, right? But then, of course, it's not the answer to all your problems because then you know all of that. And then you realize that even with all of that, somebody can just come in and say, well, I'm going to buy this. And who knows why they want to buy it. But if they're large enough, they're going to move it, right? And they could be wrong or not matter or whatever. It doesn't matter because orders have impact. So what do you think here on the Treasury now? Do you think that they're going to continue through? So the yields are not like I would have thought that they would be at least 5.25 by now in the 10-year. I mean, maybe that gives us a good buy, but the next spot that I saw, so this 06 half 067 was a spot in the 5-year on the volume profile. There might be like the 09. The treasuries do like to be fairly orderly on the volume profile. So if this turned into a monster move, not a monster move, but a relatively strong trend double distribution day, I think 09 would be like my next spot, but that just seems awfully far away. I don't know. I don't think that I could really make a bet. I don't think I really have a good risk reward and everything else, because of what I expect the flows to be, because it is Monday. Even though I expected there to be a little bit more activity than usual, I feel like we already kind of got that activity. So now to expect that to continue and also get a trend day off of it, I think that that's unreasonable. So that doesn't mean that they won't go and get it. It just means that I personally don't see the advantageous risk reward probability for me to take a trade on it. You think that the Eurobond will go down test point of control from Monday? Could be. Well, so another thing we should check over here is in the currencies. Okay, so I am seeing the 6J coming down, so that I think helps. We're also seeing the dollar bounce here a little bit. So that says to me, I don't think that euros are the biggest driver here at the moment, but you still point out a technical level that probably does matter for them. But how far down is FGBL from that? So I don't get that data, so I can't see it. I wish. I'm not willing to spend money on that. The data on that, whatever, I don't trade it. It would help, but nah. Oh, you know what else I'm just realizing is that the spreads, I really need to go through like all these things that I need to go through, like when I'm double checking everything. Probably should write it down because I should really look at the spreads and the currencies and then all of the other assets. And then, the liquidity in the current instrument. You could use a demo trade. Yeah, but that only works for 2 weeks. And I know what you're thinking now. And then at the end of 2 weeks, you change your email address, right? Well, I did that for a long time with both Rhythmic and CQG, but I think it was CQG at the time. And I did it enough times that they banned my IP. So, anyways, the spreads have flattened. The 30-year end of the curve is flattened. The 5 and 10 moved down. The 30-year did not. You used it 15 times. Yeah, they this was before I was doing the stream, but by the time I started doing the stream, I was using Combine accounts, but yeah, I had done the demo dozens of times. And then I did the combines for like a year, and then I just said, oh, I'll just get in my own account. And I think we blew like 3 accounts before we got to this one. This account, though, I might back off and not trade it so much, but I don't think that this account will ever be like blown, because we are taking so little risk on it compared to what we can, that, you know, I have it set up so that I can continue. I could just lose all the time. I don't want to say continue to lose all the time, because I've actually done really well the last 3 months, but I could just do absolutely terrible all of the time, and I would still be able to keep going in perpetual. So, okay, so the micros are starting to creep up there a little bit. Maybe part of the question is, are they going to get the 30-year to come with them? Because the 30-year is definitely the one holding back. IHS Vice Chairman Jurgen, oil price signal will work to prompt increased U.S. output. Okay. Let's see here. Last time Ford was above 20. Oh, so Ford hitting 20 today? Yeah, I wasn't worried about that. Yeah. I was thinking, because of a Tesla, maybe you switch over into Ford, and hopefully Tesla drags them all down. Well, that's not happening. That's not happening, unfortunately. 5%. That's a good move. Should have just bought Ford on the open, man, because maybe that's a good spot and never looks back, for all I know. Are you trading? Yeah, oh yeah, totally. Well, it's not every trade that I take is live. When I am doing the S&P 500, for instance, or if I'm like putting on like tons of contracts over in the treasury, that's all sim. Okay. And as far as you guys are concerned, if you want to just think or tell people that all I ever do is trade sim, that's fine. Yeah, it's totally fine. There would be people out there, he only trades sim. Okay, yep, that's me. Because if I'm trading live and I'm making money, I don't want people to know. So, but usually when I trade on the micros, those are live orders. Because like I said, with the micros, you know, I'm only risking 10, 20, like a bad day in the micros was like, well, yesterday I lost 60, right? So yesterday was pretty bad. I took a big bet on that one, and I just got demolished. Although, clearly I got out in exactly the right spot, because it kept going, and could have been so much worse if I had really tried to hold on to that, right? But yeah, where you're only risking $10 to $50 a day, you know, that'll last forever. And then you can put a few hundred more into it every month if you have to. Yeah. And I probably will have to at some point, because the commissions are there. When you add the commissions and the data fees on top of each other, it's hard. Yeah, no, the micro treasuries. I love trading sim. If a trader can't make money on sim, then their real account will suffer. Yeah. But, you know, for me, the problem for me, here's the thing. I would do this if there was no way for me to make money. I love it. To me, it's not about the money. I think most people, they come into this thinking it will be an easy way for me to get rich. No. The chances of you getting rich from this are very, very slim. Go and you want to, you need a new job. You're between jobs, go to a code camp. You need a side hustle, start a YouTube channel. Okay. YouTube channel is a great side hustle. Okay. My side hustle is really the YouTube. That's the thing that I put the hustle into and that I'm trying to make money from. Trading, that's a hobby. And so I would do it even if I didn't make money from it, right? But I want to get better at trading, right? And the issue that I started to run into was that I just wasn't getting better from trading on sim. Like I had learned once I had really solidified my approach to trying to read order flow, and it was something that I had always done, but I didn't understand why I was doing it or the math behind it or any of that. Once you really understand those things, then I can really come into a specific situation and apply those principles. And you can see me do it during the stream. And if you guys have been watching me for a while, I think you'd agree that I've been trading a lot better the last year, let's say, than I was before that, right? Well, the other side of it, though, is like the mental challenge of it and the intensity. Like on Friday, I think I held on to that one a little bit too long because I tend to get into this mode where it's like when your body starts to go into fight or flight, and I will just go freeze sometimes because it's like the best thing is to just not do anything and let the trade play out, right? But there are probably times where I should just run away. How should I determine if I should fight, flight, or freeze? That's what I think I need to work on. Is getting into that, knowing that I'm in that mode and being able to parse it out intellectually and do the right thing, right? So there's both the emotional aspect of it, and there's also just that when it's like real money, you just approach it differently, right? And so I think that been trading with micro treasuries that I've been getting a lot better doing that. So embrace the stop. Yeah, I think so too. So on the micros, I don't necessarily just put a stop out there automatically, but there is kind of a point at which I decide, okay, I'm not getting the order flow that I wanted, and so I get out. And on Friday, because it was non-farms and everything else, I clung onto it longer than I probably should have. Because there was a point at which it was like, well, this isn't doing anything, but maybe the next meta order, then we'll get, the rates will increase and we'll be fine. I should have scratched it. Any other day, I would have scratched it. But I didn't. I lost. Basically my max loss on 3 contracts, which was pretty brutal, right? Especially since a lot of them I've only been doing 1 contract spot. I told myself, you can size up when you really feel confident about it. I think that the new rule is that if I absolutely insist on trading non-farms, that I can only use 1 contract, because non-farms can just be brutal, right? Or maybe, I'm only going to add to them when they're already up. But even then, I added to them when we were having the rates were increasing on us, because that one, I had a really strong fundamental reason to think that the rates were going to increase, right? So on that one, I added to it. But on those ones, I tried to hold it for multiple days. But I don't know, trying to hold for multiple days hasn't worked particularly well for me. I don't know if that makes sense in treasuries, unless it's a really trending. Yeah, I could do a combine, but like here's the problem with the combines, right? Like I could put $150 into a combine every month, or I could put $150 into a live account every month. And it would be my live account, and it would be the same thing, right? Like, I really feel, well, you know what? Like, hey, I have a video on the channel about the combines revisited, and then I have another one after that where I do another combine with a robot. And you can go and you can watch those videos and you can see everything that I think about the combines. But I just don't think it makes sense for me. The only reason I would do the combine is if I had a robot that I really wanted to YOLO on, like I wanted to take a lot of risk and I wasn't willing to do it on my own account, but I thought it was worth a shot. You got switched over to NinjaTrader clearing on Friday. Yeah. You know, the funny thing about brokers, it's such an important decision, but if you make a good decision on your broker, you never think about it, really. You know what I mean? Yeah, FTH says I vote a real account, not a combine. Yeah, that's really just... Seriously, like, think about it. You can trade micro treasury futures, make or lose $10 a day. That's it. Maximum you could potentially lose if you were only losing $10 a day on average, right? Don't be dumb like me to take 3 contracts, but I only did that because I had made some money. Hey, most you could lose is $300. You could do that for like, you know, like 6 months before you would blow at your standard like $1,500 account. And if you enjoy trading, why not do it that way? I know I'm trying to make a convincing argument here that most people aren't going to go throw. You're thinking, nah, it's not just a hobby. I want to become a billionaire from trading. Well, it can happen. But you know what? You're going to have to learn to enjoy it and just enjoy the process. Even if you're not making money or not making very much money, right? Like where I'm at, if I was trading the treasuries, then I'd be super happy. if I'd been trading the treasuries, then I'd be doing super great. With the way that it is now, I'm paying for my costs. And if I hadn't have made the mistakes, then I probably would have a small profit, but it's not much to speak of, right? That's fine. It's progress, though. Now, if I can just go, like, this time I made it like 3 months before I had like a really big blow up that I regretted. And this time it didn't blow the account. Okay, good. That's progress. Now let's try and make it 6 months without doing that, right? Combine is a different style of trading and you have to time your entries for fixed targets. Well, you know what? I got to get going, but I think you're on the right track for sure, right? Like, people do not realize this is what I dislike about the combines, is that I feel it gives retail traders that are just starting out a false impression of how much risk you should be putting on. When you do those combines, you think, this is the way that it should be. This is what you should be going for and everything. And when you really look at it, you'll realize that those are really aggressive targets and you're trading really aggressive when you're doing a combine, and that you're probably a lot more likely to be successful if you go for something that is way less aggressive. Anyways, hey guys, we should put a title on this. No, the title will be Elon Musk. No. No. No, don't do it. I don't like that he's selling his Tesla stock. It's okay. Why would you pay someone else to let them trade? Well, I mean, you're always paying somebody else to let you trade anyways, right? Because you're paying your broker and you're paying your data provider. You're paying your software license, probably. I wish that trading the micro treasuries, that it was easier for me to pick up the costs. Maybe if we build the account up a little bit higher and we can trade 2 or 3 contracts, then that'll be a little bit easier. But stop playing games with my heart. I know, right? Well, look, they're doing okay today. Oh, we need to come back to TSLA. You know, they're handling it okay today, so we'll see how it goes on as the month progresses and he actually sells. See you guys tomorrow. Stay profitable, friends.